Again, we're here for independent PT business basics. So this is just for any trainers, again, future or current, who are looking to just kind of get a better head start on their training business. I just found it is a very kind of area that was left in the gray for a lot of trainers. You know, we all kind of have thought about it maybe to some degree, and not sure how to get going or how to get started. But again, we're just going to kind of cover the very, very surface. The top 3 questions is what I feel maybe some of the biggest questions that you might have as a trainer. How to get started, how to obtain clients, and then what should you charge? So those are going to be the 3 topics that we go over today. So again, if you have any questions, if anything comes up while we're presenting, don't hesitate to just shoot an email over. I'll get all of those and answer those towards the end. Okay, so without further ado, first and foremost, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you even considering this. It just lets me know that there is a need out there, and trainers need some of that attention, and I'm here to do that. So just a little bit more about who I am before we dive right in. So who am I? My name is Antaria, but everyone calls me T. It's just a whole lot easier in life. I am the owner of APT Training Studios. You can see it behind me. That's where we are right now, in Dallas, Texas. So APT Training Studios is a personal trainer's training studio. I am here to support trainers in every aspect of their business as much as possible, whether it's just a place to train your clients or education classes or just mentorship, things like that. Wherever you need help, we're here to be supportive. So we're not here to hinder. We're not here to stifle. We're not here to be your boss. We just want you to be your own boss and help you however we can with your business. So utilize this however long or not long you need us for. So I am a personal trainer. So that's why I'm here. I've been through the ringer, so to speak, kind of done all of the things as far as training is concerned. Probably had a lot of questions that you guys might have, experienced a lot of things that I just felt like I didn't have to, but you know, it's kind of part of the territory nonetheless. But all that's to say is that I found my love for training and helping people, but also helping trainers. So as you can see there, I'm an advocate for trainers. I just feel like in our industry, it can get a little murky, so to speak, with social media and working for someone and the percentages that we don't get for all the hard work that we put in. So yeah, I'm here to be a voice for trainers, you know, so I think we need it for sure. So, but outside of that, I mean, I'm certified, but also have background education wise from undergraduate to graduate degrees in the field as well. Okay, so what we will discuss today, again, if you saw the flyer, just kind of the top questions that I felt were necessary to cover for trainers. So again, we're going to just really kind of, I don't want to say breeze over them, but this stuff can get very, very deep and very, I say, personalized. So I'm going to give my best effort to give the vast majority as much information as possible, or at least the need to know information as possible. And then from there, you decide how much more help or advice or instruction you may need. But again, the biggest questions, or some of the biggest questions that future or current trainers are looking to answer when trying to get their training business off the ground. So again, those questions, how do I get clients? What should I charge? And how do I get started? Okay. So hopefully you guys got something to write some notes down or type some notes down. This will be available for replay later, so that's good news. But yeah, make sure you take some notes and also prepare questions. So first and foremost, how do I get clients? I mean, let's be real. You know, you're trying to get any client you possibly can. When you're starting off, you just need a client. At least 1 or 2 or 3. And there's no shame in that at all. So don't be afraid if you're just starting, or even if you haven't started yet, you need clients. And that can be scary and difficult. You're not sure what that looks like, how that looks, what they look like, where to find them. So those are all natural questions that come as a trainer trying to figure out, how do I get clients? So the biggest thing I always say is, there's this slogan, and your work with me here. It's easier to find a job while you have one than trying to find one when you're desperate and don't have one. I don't know if you ever heard that saying before. If you're looking for a job, don't quit your old job while you're looking for a new job. Like, keep that job. It's easier to find one when you're not desperate. So kind of the same thing goes with clients. It's easier to get a client while you have one versus when you're desperate. So again, if you're starting off fresh, we're kind of all in that desperation phase. But once you get that one, that's when things start to get a little bit easier, as far as just, I have at least one client under my belt. I'm going to rock it out with this one client until I start to build up my client list, so to speak. So remember, this is your business. It's not going to be easy. You have to do things that are going to be uncomfortable, especially if you're looking to be independent. Once you take kind of that step towards independent training, there's no gym to secure you. There's no funnel of clients coming in, or potential clients coming in, or a pool of people coming in. You have to actually get out and do that work yourself. So be prepared mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of the things for that journey, because it's going to be difficult, but it is possible. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. So don't give up, but just know that this is now your business, and you actually have to take those necessary steps to solidify your business. So what I always say, what's the easiest thing? If you ever need something, who do you turn to first? Less likely you're to turn to a stranger, right? We're not going to just go find Joe Schmo out on the streets and just say, hey, Joe, I need $20. Can you just give me $20? I promise I'll pay you back. Joe doesn't know you. He doesn't trust you. He doesn't know you from anybody else. So the first people you generally turn to are the people who are kind of already in your circle. So start working with your inner circle, family, friends, coworkers. Why? Because they know you, they trust you, and they probably, if we're honest, have already asked you, can you train them? I know it happened to me well before I ever wanted to be a trainer. Trust me, I always say no one like grows up and says, I want to be a personal trainer when I grow up. It's unfortunate, but it's probably the truth. Now, if you know someone, please send them my way. I'd love to talk to them just to hear their story, but no one ever actually truly picks this from the start. I always say fitness finds you. You kind of stumble into it, right? But all that's to say is, during my time, I always loved working out, and my friends would always ask, will you train me? And I'll just say, no, 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 no. But those were prime opportunities for me to at least start getting my feet wet with training. And the same thing goes for you. Those coworkers, family, and friends trust you already. They're probably the easiest in to at least get some clientele, even if it's only one or two. Just know that they're easier. And really what you need to start off is, again, at least that one or two clients to get you going. So once you get kind of that groove with your family and friends, then it can get more comfortable to go out to other people. So don't hesitate asking family and friends. Yes, they can get a little family friends discount, but also you're trying to work on your business. So be reasonable, let them know what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I'm sure they'll be happy to kind of help you out. Okay. So with that, I always recommend asking for feedback. So with these first few clients that you're getting, again, that you know, family and friends, ask for their feedback. So I know they got cut off just a little bit, but it's just to allow you to get some insight on how things are going. Ask them, can you document the journey? That's pictures, videos, and really for you to be able to show other people, hey, this is what I can do. This is what I have done. So this is going to take some time. You're not going to transform someone in a week. So just know that it's going to take some time, but with that family, friend, or coworker, this is where you really put your best foot forward, because this is kind of the foundation of your business. You being able to show proof that, yes, I know what I'm doing, and this is the proof. I have testimonials, I have videos, all that good stuff. So just know that that's all for a reason. So make sure you always, always, always ask if you can get their feedback on your pricing, your training style, what you're offering, and also can you document that journey. So with that being said, you are going to get some clients under your belt, right? We got some family and friends under our belt, some coworkers, maybe even some randoms. You know, we'll take those too. We're not opposed to it. Once you get that clientele under your belt, this is where you can start to dive in more of what's your ideal client, what's your niche population. That's something that if you're just starting off, you're not going to know. You're not going to know that at all, and that's okay. But again, your goal just starting off, get those 2 to 4 clients and rock out with them 3, 6, 9, 12 months, because you need to show proof that you know what you're doing, and you need to show other people that you know what you're doing as well. Okay. So some of you in here may be kind of beyond that. I've already run through my family, friends, and coworker stage, and that's okay too. The biggest thing for you guys is there's another level of how do you get clients. You know, once you've gone through your inner circle, and everyone eventually will, especially kind of that tight knit circle, there's another level to what your business looks like and how you get clients. And you should be able to answer this question. Who is your target market? Okay, if this is a surprising question to you, write it down now. Write it in bold, underline it, asterisk. Who is your target market? And if you have absolutely no idea who that is, we got some more deep diving to do with your business, okay? A business knows who they're marketing to and who their market is. You are trying to be a business. You have to know who you're marketing to and who your market is. If you do not know, we do have opportunities to kind of talk to you guys one-on-one. You'll see it kind of a little later in the presentation, but we offer PT business coaching calls. We can help you figure that out, but this is something that you need to think of before you ever even come to us, right? Because we can't tell you who it is. It kind of happens more or less naturally, and you stumble into, wow, these are the people that I enjoy serving or tend to gravitate towards me. That is giving you an idea of who your target market is, okay? So again, if you're beyond family and friends, you must know this answer. And if you don't, you got to start diving into it, okay? So topic number 1 is done. All right, next up, here we go. Money, money, money. What should I charge? This is a very, very, again, I'm going high level here because this can get deep, and you'll see here shortly just how deep this can get. But this is going to depend on a lot of factors. Some of those factors include, are you just starting off? What's your background and experience? What's your professional leverage? That's all going to be different for everybody. And so those are very, very, very key questions that you must answer and consider as you're trying to figure out what to charge. So just imagine 2 people from the same city serving the same population with identical backgrounds may have 2 completely different pricing packages. Why do you think that is? And really the answer is, it's subjective. It's completely up to you. What you feel you are worth may be different than what someone else feels they are worth. So starting off, you may be a little below market. Again, knowing who your target market is, things like that is going to play a factor into all of this, but you may be a little below the market, but that's okay. Starting off, you're trying to get your feet wet and kind of put yourself out there and get yourself out there. So don't be afraid about charging too little starting off. Again, a little money coming in is better than no money coming in at all. So you eventually find your groove, get into your zone, hold in on your population and find your confidence. And that's what's most important. So again, just focus on what your target market is and really just making sure you get your feet wet, okay? The other thing, so with that target market aspect, you must do market research. Again, you're a business. Just know LA Fitness, Equinox, Lifetime, they didn't just randomly place their gym somewhere. They actually targeted an area in a market and did research to figure out where am I going to be the most profitable, the most successful. You don't just throw yourself in your business anywhere. So make sure you do market research to make sure you are where you need to be with your business. And what that includes, again, this can get very, very deep, but that market research is, where is my client? How old is my client? What's their demographic? How close am I to them? Am I traveling to them? Are they traveling to me? So those are all different things and aspects you need to consider and think about when you are targeting your client. And that market research is going to help you. But in addition to knowing who that client is, in regards to what you should charge, you have to take a look at what other gyms and studios are charging in the area. So you can't just throw out a random number that doesn't make sense to the area you're serving. So you have to dig in, check out Planet Fitness, check out Lifetime, check out LA Fitness, really go the spectrum. Don't just go high end or low end or middle range. Find kind of all of those ranges in the area that you're serving to help you determine what's the ballpark of what I should be charging for an hour session or a group session or things like that. So that market research is going to be crucial. Again, you're a business. You got to get to work and figure out the right things that are going to make you the most successful and lucrative and profitable in your business. Okay. So hopefully you're not getting a little scared with some of these things that we're talking about, but it's all true, right? We're trying to operate as a business and I want to help you be as successful as possible. So question for you. This is another question. Write it down. If you're writing, type it. If you're typing, what do you feel you're worth for 1 hour of your time? That is another question you must know the answer to. This is going to differ. Again, same person, same population, same community, same background will probably have a different answer for this question. But for you specifically, what do you feel you're worth 1 hour of your time? Just consider that number. There's no right or wrong answer, but that's kind of where your starting point is to figure out what you should charge. Okay. If you don't know what that is, that market research, see what other people are charging, ask around, research, Google, all those good things to get an idea of what at least they feel they're worth, and then kind of trickle down from there for yourself. Okay. So hold on to that question because what you feel you're worth for 1 hour starts to determine all of the other things. What are you offering? Are you offering group training? Are you offering virtual, in-person, private training? All of those things require kind of different pricing. The group training and in-person may be completely different, but they also may not. And we're about to get a little bit deeper in here, so be prepared to put on your thinking caps. But private training and group training should be different. But for some people, it might not be different. So again, what are you offering helps determine what you should charge. And if you're offering all of those, then you got to have some numbers that make sense for all of those offerings. So with that, the next kind of aspect and tip is to know your numbers. And that, I just say, as trainers, we should know numbers because we are measuring and counting reps and lifting weights and counting how much weight's on a rack. But knowing your numbers as far as a business goes to a completely different level of knowing your numbers. And in order for you to know that you're a business and operating in a profitable range, you have to know what's coming in and what's going out and how often and how consistent. And yes, training is very and can be very inconsistent, but there can be some parameters that you put in place that helps things kind of at least stabilize for a little while to give you some level of consistency. But knowing your numbers is most important. And again, Thinking Cap's coming on very, very soon right now. So what we actually developed here at APT is a training spreadsheet, a training pricing spreadsheet. And this is really just to help you determine and me determine what's the best pricing structure and packages for me to offer or for you to offer in your training. And when I say it breaks it down completely, it breaks it down completely. So be prepared for these numbers you're about to see. Don't stress about them, just kind of gaze over them. But I want you to see just how detailed it needs to be for you to determine your pricing and your structure when it comes to your training pricing. Okay, so first things first, we have, remember that question, what do you feel you are worth for 1 hour of your time? That's kind of your starting point, and hopefully maybe you can zoom in, maybe at a later time you can zoom in. But this pricing sheet is just based on, this is an example. We have someone who feels that their hour worth is $80. Hour worth of their time is $80. Now they probably leverage their professional experience. They may have been an NFL football player or a basketball player or interned with some large corporation. They may have their doctorate, in kinesiology. You just never know what their background is, but let's work with this here. But as you can see here, there's just so many levels to that pricing package that you now have to determine what makes more sense to you. Do you discount your first package option? So 4 sessions a month, is that going to be at a discounted rate, or is that going to be higher than your hourly rate? So I don't want to throw out too many numbers because this can get a little crazy and a little confusing, but you have to consider what those numbers look like, because also someone coming to you needs to see those numbers and it makes sense to them as well. So if you're $80 an hour for your worth and all of your packages break down to $80 an hour, you really only need one package. There's no point in having 5 different packages if all of them break down to $80 an hour, right? Because it's the same price, the same price, the same price. You're just bumping up the total amount. Now, some people, such as myself, I like to offer incentives for larger packages, but that's just my personal preference. You also can do that, and you can have a completely different discount for those higher prices or packages. So just know again that it's very, very different for every person what you feel, but this is something that we can literally go through with you personally on that PT business coaching call to help you determine at least the best place to start for your pricing, and then kind of play it out, weigh it out, and see how things are going, and then kind of reassess. But that's that. Don't stress out. We got a little bit more numbers to go. Now we kind of go to a little bit higher level. This is really where we kind of start with you guys for that business coaching call. But this is that knowing your numbers aspect. What's coming in, what's going out. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of trainers make, and I say this all the time, if anyone asks my opinion, we have got to get out of the mindset of we just drive to every single client wherever they are. If they're here, they're there, here, and I'm back up, and I'm back here, and I'm back here. Time is money. Gas is expensive. So all of that is adding up to time being wasted, money being spent, and money not really being earned or weighing out kind of all that you're putting in. So that high level pricing breakdown, takes into account gas. How many trips are you taking? How far are you going? What's the rent if you're utilizing a space? Is it percentage based? Is it flat rate based? Are you utilizing multiple spaces? Any equipment that you're purchasing, kind of all of those things. What's some of those monthly expenses that are going out? And ultimately, what's coming back in, or what do you need to do to make sure that enough of that is coming back in? So again, not going to dive too far into this. You kind of see some of these numbers. We break it down to price per session, what you're charging now versus what you should be charging, what you could be charging. So again, look at these numbers, not to scare you, but to know that this is how deep the know your numbers needs to get. And we can help and walk you through so that you're not alone. Okay, we don't send this out. There's no way you can navigate this sheet on your own. So just know that that's there. Okay, knowing your numbers, know all of your numbers. Okay, so with that, I've said it already. If that kind of scared you, or at least intrigued you, hopefully more or less intrigued than scared you, and you kind of want to brainstorm some of your own numbers, we can literally just dive into your own numbers. You may be really right on par with what you need to be at for charging your clients, or what you think you need to be at. We're happy to help you. Schedule a business coaching call. We'll be happy to talk you through what you already have set up, and just steer you in any direction that we feel may be most beneficial. So just know that that option is out there. Okay. All right. That heavy stuff is over. We got one more topic left, guys, and then we'll get into some questions. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Final topic. How do I get started? Question we all have. What does that look like? Am I doing it right? It's a tough question, right? But the biggest thing is, how do I get started, and what does that started look like for me personally? Now, this is going to be hugely dependent on what you're trying to do. So when I say what you're trying to do, there's so many different avenues you can take with how do I get started with my business. Obviously, some of the most popular. Do I start posting videos and reels on IG and TikTok? Do I need a website? Do I need an LLC? Kind of all of those fun questions that we have. What's going to happen is you're going to get to those questions, and you're probably going to try to do all of them or the most popular and either be successful or not. So we're trying to kind of catch you before you just try to do what's most popular or what you think might need to be done. So to be honest, there are going to be so many different passions and reasons for pursuing the field. So my question to you, why are you pursuing the field? What's your why? Everyone should have that answer. And just know that some people are really passionate about the field. You've done the education. You may have had your own personal experience with weight loss or, health issues, and having to combat that with fitness and wellness and health. And you really just want to help other people not have to go through the same battles as you. And there are going to be other people who really just love the glamour and glitz of social media and being an influencer and wearing all the cute clothes and, taking the nice pictures and making really cool, fun videos. And you know what? Both avenues are okay. I'm not knocking either or. You have to find the avenue that makes the most sense for you and your business. And most importantly, the one that you're willing to kind of rock with and grow with and transition with as it changes and you change as well. So just be honest with yourself. There's no judgment of either path you want to take, but just be honest, because that avenue that you're trying to take is going to help determine how you get started and where you need to get started. Okay. So with that, again, consider that question. What's your why, and why are you pursuing the field? And don't hesitate to be honest with yourself. Okay. If your end goal is to become a business, you're going to need a website incorporating and a digital presence completely. If you're looking to be a fitness influencer, you're going to live on social media, TikTok, IG, all of those things. People need to see you. They need to want to be you. They need to want to do what you're doing. That's going to be your thing. But if that's not necessarily your goal, then you need to figure out where your social media presence hits the best and hits the mark the best. I always say a digital presence is necessary for every business. And digital presence isn't just social media, but people need to be able to see you and at least read about you or see about you or know about you somehow, some way other than word of mouth. So think of even LinkedIn, but also Facebook. A website is a digital presence. Those are all things that are going to be necessary to make sure that there's a life of you somewhere online that people can see and at least get a feel for, do I connect with this person? Is this someone that I'm willing to kind of entrust my health and fitness journey into? So don't be afraid about that digital presence, but just know if social media is the prime focus for you, is that where your target market is? Or is your target market maybe on Facebook or maybe just on Googling? So consider all of those things as you're pursuing how to get started. So my tip for you, if you're anything like me, I get overwhelmed with just like how to get started, because I have to plan, everything has to pan out and be thought out. But the biggest thing, what I found works the best, is do what comes naturally to you first. So if you don't like sitting in front of a camera or recording yourself or posting on social media a ton, that may not be the first thing or even the right thing for you to do. If you're more comfortable kind of doing a little bio about yourself, little cool picture on a website or some type of digital platform, then go for it. Do what comes naturally to you, because that's what people are going to see as genuine. If you're not for the video making and the really cool stunts with random fitness equipment, that's gonna be seen, and people are gonna see that and know that that's not really your thing. So just stay true to yourself, and ultimately you can't go wrong. Okay. So with that, most importantly, just get started. Do not be like me. I hate to admit it. Do not be like me and allow kind of the overthinking and fear paralyze you from getting started. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to go right. Only one person is going to show up. Things like that. That's okay. Everyone had a start somewhere. They don't like to tell about it or post about it, but everyone's had a start. And I promise you, it wasn't as glamorous and pretty and successful as you may think. But the biggest step that everyone has to take, and the hardest step, is to take that first step. So just get started. There'll be bumps and learning curves, and how do you commit to this profession and not give up? And ultimately and honestly decide, is this a profession that you're willing and wanting to pursue moving forward? And the answer to that could be yes or no, and it's completely okay. All right. So get started. It will get better. Nothing's going to be easy, but not everyone's created to be an entrepreneur. But you, I know if you're watching this and you're listening to this, you have the right mindset to at least give it a go and give it a try. And that's more than what most have. So tap into that and push forward. Take it one day and one step at a time. Okay. So that's it. All right. So we answered those 3 questions. Again, if you have any questions, shoot them over to me from that message that was sent out about the video. And I'm going to just answer some of the questions that I received and get you guys out of here and just try to respect your time. Okay. So let me pull up some of these questions. Hopefully this has been helpful to you guys. Again, the link will be available once we are done. So, all right. question number 1. I'm gonna try to go through these a little bit quicker since we got about 20 minutes. First question. I tend to have a high turnover of clients. Can't keep them for too long. What's the best way to avoid this? Ooh, client turnover is rough. That's the inconsistent part. I don't know if you remember, we were talking about it. Training can be very inconsistent, but there are certain parameters you can take to get things a little more consistent and a little more stable. Probably first things first is getting that feedback, or not being afraid to get that honest feedback. Because if you have a high turnover rate, that's for a reason. Either you're too high or too low, they're not pleased. There's something going on, but it's not always you. But you have to at least find out, is it you? This is the hard part. This is where that feedback comes in. So if you're not afraid to ask for it from your family, friends, and coworkers, you have to be especially not afraid to ask from any clients that you have. So first, nail down why they're leaving and why they're leaving so often. Retention is crucial. Retention is crucial. If you can say you've been working with somebody for a year, 2 years, 3 years, that is awesome, because you should be getting some results. But if you only work for somebody for a month and it's always 1 month, how many results can you get out of that? Or how much results can you get out of that? So that's first things first. Figure out why they're leaving. But the best way to avoid this, what I found has helped, is a commitment. And I usually ask my clients for a commitment. Again, it can be scary. Some people aren't comfortable with this, but I am. And I usually ask for a 3-month commitment to start off. It's not a whole lot, but at least lets me know where they are mentally as far as training is concerned and committing to their health and fitness. So if you at least ask for some sort of commitment, or have that in writing, that this is how long we're going to work for to help you achieve your goal, that can help them stay on a little bit longer. Okay. So hopefully that's a good answer and helps out with that turnover rate. So next question. Do you ever increase your prices, and how do you know when and how much? Yes, market research, inflation, all of the things. If gas is going up, why can't my prices go up? Now, I'm not saying like $100 a session more, but $5, $10 per session can total to about 20, 25, 30, 35 more a month than you were making before. So some of the things to consider, just when we were talking about the pricing, your education, your experience, professional leverage, as you're going through the industry and getting more experience and getting more education and certifications and specialties and things like that, those are all playing a factor into now what you're presenting to these clients and offering them. So that goes into your pricing, and consider that. So as you're growing and the longer you're spending in training and in the industry, those should be considered when you're figuring out your pricing. How do you know when and how much? I mean, I say yearly assessment. After you hear what your pricing look like, what's the market look like, what's your experience look like, and then how much, that's where that pricing sheet is going to come down to, and really just kind of your personal preference. 5% or $5, 10% or $10. Completely up to you. It can be a couple of dollars. You may even want to completely switch out your pricing structure. So don't be afraid to do that. You need to do it at some point. Your starting prices should not be the same as your 3rd year or 4th year prices. Okay. What's some of the most effective ways you found that helps find clients? So the most effective ways to find clients that I found, honestly, I found clients so many different ways. I've worked out in the park. People have come up to me. I've gone to apartment complexes and offered a free class. That's golden. If you're hearing this, asterisk that. Yeah, going to apartment buildings have been really good, and really just kind of offering free services to events or occasions that are happening around your area. or even collaborating or finding events, and just going as yourself, but having some cards or your whatever information you have to disperse to potential clients. So yeah, you just kind of got to get yourself out there. They can end up anywhere. Make sure you're always looking kind of fit. I mean, literally had somebody ask me, I was walking to Target. They're like, hey, you look like you work out. I was like, oh, actually I do. And actually I'm a trainer. So it could literally happen anywhere. I always say if you look the bill and fit the bill, it can happen. So this is the last question that I have. What's the best training app for scheduling, taking payments, and keeping session counts? Now, this is, so I'll say some of the ones that I've heard about and some that I use. I haven't used all of them. I kind of stick with what I know and what I've been using, but I've heard of Trainerize. I've never actually played with this, so I really don't know how it is. If you have, let us know in the comments or just give some feedback. Mind Body, I heard is a really good one as well. I think it's pretty expensive. Vagaro as well. These are all, you're gonna have to look kind of all of these up and just figure out what would make sense to you. I know Square has appointments, but it also just depends on how much freedom you want to give your clients with just like kind of booking whenever they want to, which is not going to be great for retention. Kind of setting a good schedule, a set schedule helps best for retention. But I use one that's called, I call it Pocket Suite. I don't know if it's Pocket Suite or Pocket Suite. I've used that for a little while. I've kind of been grandfathered in. I think it charges now, but it used to not charge. But it's giving me what I need to control my clients and session counts and invoices and things like that. Not super streamlined, but it gives me what I need because I don't have a high client load intentionally. But I mean, outside of that, I'm sure there are more. So if you have any training apps that you recommend, write them down in the comments, share the wealth, let other people know about them. But you kind of have to Google and see what else fits best. And some people actually kind of break them up. Some people do their payment through Booksy and their scheduling through Google Scheduler. So just depends on how disjointed do you want it or how compact do you want it. Okay. So let me just see if any other questions came in. If not, we are just about done. Okay, so that's all the questions that I have. And don't hesitate to also, if you just have any questions, if you're watching this video at a later time, drop questions in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them at any point in time moving forward. So as we kind of wrap things up, next steps, I want to let you guys know some resources available to you. I know I've spoken about the PT business coaching call. That's available for you guys. It's all of this stuff. I'm going to shoot it over to you in the email, thanking you for attending and just having access to that. But I'll also drop it in the comment box as well, so you'll have access to it. But our ebook, we have an ebook available. It is How to Start Your Independent Training Business. Now, we went over very high level stuff today, but this ebook, 23 page ebook, goes into more detail of the top 5 most important things you must know and do for your business. So this one, if what we went over today was intriguing, this ebook is for you. You want to dive into it, get as much information as possible. We'll cover professional credentials, financials, marketing and market, streamlining the process and training environment. So get this ebook, guys. It's only 19 bucks, so you can't miss with it. It's very, very, very informative, helpful, and kind of all of the tips and tricks and trades of getting your independent business started. So outside of that, like I said, that coaching call is available to you guys. Don't be afraid to schedule it. I'm happy to talk to you personally and meet you personally and help you out with your business. And with that being said, most importantly, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out to just hear and see how we want to help you. Remember, we're APT Training Studios. We're here to help and support the entrepreneurial, health and fitness professional fulfill their business dreams in any way we can. So that includes you. So don't forget to just follow us on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, and visit our website as well to stay up to date with future events. But outside of that, we appreciate you. Thank you so, so much. And hopefully this has been helpful. Let us know, like, subscribe, comment, all of the things. And I look forward to communicating with you guys later.